Hey friends, this is Marilyn from tarotclarity.com, and you may notice that today I'm not in my typical beautiful surroundings. I'm in a hotel room in Niagara Falls, New York, where we came in pursuit of seeing the eclipse. Now, it's possible when I was younger, like very young, that there may have been an eclipse event that I was around for, and my parents may have taken us outside to see. However, I was so young and it went over my head. I kind of vaguely remember something happening, but for all intents and purposes, I wasn't around because I really don't remember it. Now, we traveled 8 hours to get here, only to find out that there's like 80% chance of it being too cloudy to see the sun, So we're just hoping that we're being optimistic. We have nothing else to do. We might as well hang around and see what's going on. The first question that I will ask is, will the sky clear up in time? The second question, I think, is my most interesting question, and it is, had I been alive 10,000 years ago and had my same personality as I have now, but without the benefit of understanding how stuff works, without understanding what was going on, what would I have thought was going on? And then the last question will be, will I be around for the next eclipse, solar eclipse? Now, you'll notice that 2 of these 3 questions hinge on fortune telling, which I don't typically do. For the most part, I see tarot as just looking for a different way to see something, especially if it's for something that's significant in one's life. However, I think there's a time and place for fortune telling as long as it's done in fun. And so I think, finding out or asking the cards if the sky will clear up in time, I think that's a fun question to ask. As far as will I be alive for the next one, well, I would never do that for someone else, but it's for myself. I'm already 65 years old, so in 25 years, there's a good chance I won't be here, and I already know that. So I don't think that I'm going to find out anything too devastating if I do this question. So now bear in mind, I don't have my tripod, and I'm going to have to, when I flip the camera, I'm going to have to hold the camera with one hand while I lay the cards. So it may not be, well, you'll see. We'll see how it turns out. So give me a second. Remember, number 1, will the sky clear up in time for us to get the benefit of seeing the eclipse? Okay, so I already shuffled off camera, but I'm just going to do a few, a few random cuts here to just, to try to get, here we go. I always like to get a couple shuffles in on camera so that I'm not cheating or staging a reading. Okay, so we have 6 batons. So if in the context of the questions, for me, batons is fire. Batons could represent light. It could represent fun with a social crowd. And we are in a facility where there's a lot of people who will probably just stay on the premises of the hotel. So whether or not the next few cards will indicate the sun popping out, I think we are guaranteed to have a good time. Five coins. Well, we have 5 discs. That's optimal. Now, 5 is an unstable number, so there's that. It may not be a guarantee. However, I am encouraged by seeing 5 discs and the batons. Now, batons and coins are not at odds with one another. They support one another. The 3rd card is the Emperor. So that seems pretty optimistic. It seems likely that we'll see something. It will have been worth the effort. We did travel 8 hours to get here. It would be a shame if we came all the way up here and didn't have anything. But I don't see any cups, so that doesn't represent any rain. I do see a person sitting and, right? I mean, I'm reading these cards in the context of the question. So, I'm seeing as being able to observe something in the sky. We even have an eagle there. And the gentleman is observing 5 coins in a social setting. So yeah, I think whether or not we actually have absolute clarity is immaterial. Let me go off camera, shuffle the cards again. For the next question, which will be, had I been alive 10,000 years ago and had the same personality as I have today, but without understanding how a solar eclipse works and what it is, what would I have thought was going on? Alrighty. So the question, I'm just going to try to, I've already shuffled the cards, but I just want to get, I don't know, a few random, this is very difficult to do. Okay. Question 2, Queen of Swords. I guess that represents me. A Valet of Swords. And 10 of Swords. Wow. Well, all swords, that kind of suggests, and it's a well-shuffled deck. I've shuffled this deck many, 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 many times. So I have no reason to believe that these cards are in order because they're not shuffled. So I think that I would have thought it was kind of scary. We see 10 of Swords being, 10 representing something that's so finished you put a fork in it kind of deal, right? And in this case, the swords are facing down. So I'm thinking that this person is me, and that I don't know who this person necessarily would be, but I could read it as representing a message coming from above. And I might have thought it was something that was scary. I might have definitely thought it was something that was scary. So that's very interesting. Okay, and the next question was, will I be around for the next one in 20 years? Don't ask a question if you don't want to know the answer, but this isn't fun, as I said. So let's check out what the cards suggest. All right, so now I'll cut the cards in a couple random ways. And it's so awkward, I'm just going to stop there. Ooh, well, at least it's an even number. 8 swords. We could say protective. The swords are in the configuration of protecting something. The Chariot, moving forward. And the Knight of Swords, who is also moving forward. Well, it's possible I'll already have moved on. It's interesting that wow, we're seeing a lot of swords today, aren't we? That's interesting. Well, the most hopeful card in the lot is this one, the 8 of Swords, suggesting protection, I suppose. However, these two individuals have moved on, or are moving on. So we can be optimistic, but chances maybe aren't the greatest for that. So there we have it. Wherever you are in the world, especially if you're in the United States or parts of Canada, and you have the opportunity to just go outside, even with the cereal box, Google it and find out how you make one of those things. We did that in 2017, and we were able to witness the eclipse just using a cereal box. And we were not in a place where the eclipse was most profoundly seen, So do it. Try to experience it if you can. Until next time, friends, peace, stay well, be kind, and do no harm.